What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about Pyra and Mythras even and losing matchups. If you want to hear about her winning matchups, just know that there's a lot of them. But if you really want to hear my opinion on them, if we get 200 likes in this video, I'll release the video. Alright, so the first even matchup that I'll talk about will be Lucina. I think this matchup is probably one of the most even matchups that Pyra and Mythra probably have, because Lucina can contest pretty much almost anything Pyra and Mythra can do. She gets juggled a little bit more than she juggles Pyra and Mythra. The fact that you can keep Mythra at bay with your speed and your range, because Lucina has really good frame data, and like the fact that like Lucina has like really good range with her frame data makes it hard for Pyra and Mythra to like contest too much that Lucina does in neutral. The only thing that like makes it a little bit easier is that Mythra does have a bigger burst range, but Lucina having down tilt to like keep Mythra at bay makes it harder for her to like abuse her burst range whenever she's like keeping her down tilt as a check option. And then Lucina can obviously edge guard Pyra and Mythra really well, because she's just very good at edge guarding in general. The next even matchup I'll go over will probably be Pikachu, which might be a little bit of a hot take because I know that some people think Pikachu does really well in this matchup, but I do think this matchup's even because Pikachu doesn't really do that well against sword characters. Not to say that he's bad against sword characters, but like sword characters are one of the characters that generally do better against Pikachu, because you don't have to like box against Pikachu, and Pikachu's really good at boxing. And the fact that like you can't really use T-Jolt much against Mythra, because if you do, Mythra can just force at it and get like a free punish off of it. Makes it really hard for Pikachu to like find out what he wants to do in neutral. And the fact that like Mythra and Pyra's down tilt both can 2-frame Pikachu's up B quick attack to ledge makes it easier to like ledge trap Pikachu, because you don't really have to worry about edge guarding Pikachu, which is kind of impossible because Pikachu is one of the hardest characters in the game to edge guard. You can kind of just sit at ledge and try to time your down tilt to hit Pikachu's quick attack to ledge and then force smash him, and then he might die pretty early, which makes the matchup a little bit easier for Pyra and Mythra. Another matchup that I think would be even would be Inkling, because Inkling is one of the characters that edge guards really well. So the fact that they're really good at edge guarding, Pyra and Mythra is one of the characters that gets edge guarded pretty hard, so it just makes it a little bit hard. But Inkling's range isn't as good in neutral besides back air, but like it's very situational because you have to be facing back and you have to be dash backing, and the fact that Mythra's burst range is really big, she can kind of like contest characters that are dash backing a lot, which Inkling would be one of them. So you can kind of just like dash at them when they're dashing back and just dash attack them and keep them in disadvantage. But the fact that like they can edge guard you really well, especially with Splat Bomb and just like lingering outside off the stage while you're trying to recover, makes it really hard for Pyra and Mythra to really do anything when they're trying to get back to the stage. But other than that, neutral isn't really too hard. Inkling does have like a better disadvantage state than most characters, because she has roller and disadvantage to like mix up how she's like trying to land, and she does have like pretty good aerial drift too, so like it's not too hard to land with her, but she'll still get juggled like pretty decently well by Pyra and Mythra, which is why I think the match is pretty even. Now this might be a hot take, but the other matchup that I think is even is gonna be Mii Brawler. Now hear me out, alright? This character doesn't really like, this character kind of like, it's hard to explain. When I practiced this matchup, I felt like usually I feel like I'm forcing the opponent to guess, but when I was playing against Mii Brawler, I feel like I was being forced to guess, because even though I have like a really big burst range, I feel like Mii Brawler just has like really good frame data. Like his nair is really good, his back is really good, his up air is really good, his moves are really strong, his force mass kills you really early. But the fact that like he has a lot of good burst options, like his side B grappling thing that like, you know, the like seismic toss thing that does like 50%, well, not like 50, but it does a lot of damage. It does like 20 or 25. It like forces me to like think that he's gonna do that when I approach him in neutral, which makes it harder for me to like figure out what I want to do in neutral against Mii Brawler, which is why I think the matchup's even, because I kind of feel like whenever we're both playing, we're kind of just forcing each other to guess, and like whoever guesses correctly pretty much wins. And the last matchup that I think is even is gonna be Pacman, and this is because Pacman is one of the only zoning characters that can actually keep Pyra and Mythra at bay, because you're not really too scared of foresight, because the fact that you can like fake out your fruits when you're like gonna throw them or not, or like when you're charging them and stuff, makes it harder for Mythra to know like when she's gonna be able to foresight and which fruit you're gonna use. And the fact that like you can just keep Hydrant out as a like stage positioning tool to like force Mythra to have to jump over it makes her approach options a little bit more linear to where like Pacman can contest her a little bit more, which is why I think the match is pretty even. So yeah, those are all the even matchups. And as y'all can see, there are only 3 losing matchups that I believe Pyra and Mythra have, which is Min Min, Joker, and Diddy Kong. And the first one we'll talk about is Min Min, which is something I really want to talk about because I know a lot of people think otherwise. A lot of people think that Pyra and Mythra win this matchup, which is really interesting because I kind of feel like they're thinking about it on paper. But the way I like to think about matchups, like I like to think about human error. And like, if you make one error as Pyra and Mythra in this matchup, you literally should die. Like, it's not hard for Min Min to like cover every option that Mythra can do to recover back to the stage because Min Min has 2 arms and they last a really long time. Especially Ram makes it really easy to cover anything, which is why this matchup is very volatile. But it's more volatile in favor of Min Min, which is why I would give it to Min Min being a winning matchup for her. The other winning matchup I'll say is Joker, and this is one of the matchups that I know a lot of people think that Pyra and Mythra do pretty well in too, but I think otherwise because the fact that Joker can just use gun to keep Mythra at bay whenever she's trying to abuse her burst range makes it really hard for Mythra to like abuse her burst range. And it's kind of hard to juggle Joker in this matchup because his down gun makes it a lot harder to like contest him from under him whenever he's trying to get back to the stage from above. And the fact that like grappling hook is a pretty good recovery option makes it harder for Mythra to be able to use her up B to edge guard Joker. The only saving grace is that whenever Joker has Arsene, you can kind of down tilt his up B pretty easily because it's pretty easy to 2-frame. Even then, like he doesn't really have it as often as he doesn't have Arsene, which is why like he usually won't be dying pretty early to anything that Mythra does when he's off stage. Other than that, Joker does edgeguard Pyra and Mythra pretty well because he's one of the best edgeguarders in the game, best characters at edgeguarding in the game. And yeah, I think that's why this matchup is -1. And the last matchup I'll talk about that's -1, which is also what I think is Pyra and Mythra's worst matchup, is Diddy Kong. And this is because the fact that Diddy Kong is small, very mobile, has as many burst options too, like with Monkey Flip and Rising Fair, and like the fact that like he can just like choose not to approach you and just hold Banana as well makes it really hard for Mythra to figure out what she wants to do in neutral and Pyra to do anything in neutral because she's really slow. And the fact that like even whenever you do know when he's gonna throw Banana and you try to foresight it, you can't foresight him because Diddy Kong for some reason doesn't get slowed down because of some properties that the Banana has being like an actual item, not like an item that the character hat. I don't know how to explain it, but Diddy Kong basically doesn't get slowed down whenever you foresight Banana, which is really weird, but makes it a little bit harder to force Diddy Kong to be scared of using Banana. The only thing that like makes it harder for Diddy Kong is that like whenever you're fighting Mythra in neutral, it's hard for Diddy Kong to pull Banana out because Mythra's burst range is really big, and whenever you pull Banana, Mythra can just dash at you and dash attack, and like that's when you start your advantage state stuff. But even when Diddy Kong is in disadvantage, he can just use Monkey Flip to get out of disadvantage, so it's hard to keep Diddy Kong in disadvantage. But yeah, that's why I think this matchup is -1. It's really hard to do anything against Diddy Kong. It's not impossible, but it is one of the harder matchups that Pyra and Mythra have. And yeah, those are the matchups that I believe Pyra and Mythra do lose to. So if you disagree with me, if you think that they actually are the best character in the game and have 0 losing matchups, let me know in the comments below after you subscribe and like the video. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video.